one cider, and 5 different types of bread to enjoy while we're out there today. We're going to have a good time to just walk around and enjoy the fall time here at Spring Valley. What's really going on right now is that a lot of our summer wildflowers have kind of faded away and given way to all of our really tall grasses that we have here that make up most of our prairie. It kind of looks like this thing. If you see any of that, that's the rye. So it's going to be very hoppy, and it's actually the strongest beer that we have for this whole evening. So we're going to start you off good, right? So as you're drinking, the bread that we have paired with it is roasted garlic bread with thyme. And this bread's a little, one of my favorites. My other job, since I work with food distribution, we work with a lot of produce that might have gone to waste if we don't think of good uses for it, just because it's misshapen, it's not the right size, it's too big, too small. And so this garlic actually came from my other job, basically.
Okay, I'm Mary Rice, the program coordinator here at Spring Valley for the Schaumburg Park District, and we're here on an absolutely glorious night, having participated in a program called Trails and Ales. And I'm with Lori, who I met about 2 hours ago. Apart from having met her face to face, I guess when I made your name tag, that was the last time I saw your name. Tell us a little bit about what you did out there tonight, Lori.
Oh my gosh, the weather was fantastic, so that made the whole experience like that much more enjoyable. But we tasted 5 different beers that were paired with breads, and each of the pairings was like just made the beer taste better. And we walked through the nature center and we learned about the plants and some of the animals and what happens in winter here in the different seasons, some of the different programs that the Spring Valley has, the yoga exercise program were talked about. So it was just a totally enjoyable experience. I'd recommend it to anybody. Come on out and enjoy Spring Valley, especially if you get a chance to participate in this particular program.
So I'll ask you the $64,000 question. Will you be back next year?
Definitely.
Did you hear about this from Ron and Gwen?
Well, actually Maureen, but she heard about it from Ron and Gwen.
And they were on the program last year, having been interviewed at this time. It's funny that this night is almost identical to last night. Last year, I should say. Absolutely gorgeous night after a day that was a little iffy. Do you have a favorite bread and a favorite beer? And were they together when you ate them, or was it one beer one place and one bread the other?
My favorite beer was the Oktoberfest beer. That is more like a typical beer that I would drink, you know. My favorite bread was either the last bread, cheddar, onion, rosemary bread, or the zucchini chocolate bread was delicious also.
Ask me which one I tried tonight. Can you guess?
The zucchini bread. Chocolate.
Yes, the optimal word there was the chocolate. Exactly. I'm not really into cheese, but I remember from last year when I ate that cheese bread, I couldn't believe it. It was to die for. So you were actually pairing a different beer with a different bread. You need to tell Amanda what you think.
Oh my gosh, she did a wonderful job. She baked all those breads herself, she told us. A lot of the ingredients were, well, not a lot, but some of the ingredients were sourced here. I think she said harvested sunflower seeds. It was just fantastic. She couldn't have done a better job leading, and she couldn't have done a better job baking all those breads for us.
That's fantastic. So I guess that's all I can think of to say right now to Lorraine. And I'm grateful that you joined me here for the camera. Okay, so what did you think? Is this your first time participating in this program?
It is. It's our first time, and we read about it in the Schaumburg Park District brochure, and it sounded really interesting, and it exceeded our expectations.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I was the one who wrote the write-up, so I'm glad you liked that one too.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
What was your favorite beer and bread? And they don't necessarily have to have been paired together.
Okay. I think I liked the pumpkin beer and the Oktoberfest beer and that pumpkin bread and was there a garlic bread? And, they were all delicious. Yeah, they were all very interesting and paired well with the beers.
All right. Very, very good. My favorite, of course, is the chocolate zucchini. I think it's actually called zucchini chocolate, but there's a preference I have there.
Yeah,
Couldn't you guess what it is?
yeah, for
Exactly.
sure.
Have you walked Spring Valley as much as you walked tonight, or was tonight the first that you covered as much?
You know what? No, I've been walking Spring Valley for about over 30 years, off and on. We used to live nearby, so it was every day after work, we'd be over here relaxing, unwinding. And even now, even though we've moved in Schaumburg, I'll stop by on my round of errands and just park and walk Spring Valley. So it's very much a part of our lives.
So did you see anything different tonight, or were they all trails you've been on before?
It was a little different itinerary, and we took some of those prairie paths through which was really interesting. And of course, the beer gave you a different perspective as well.
Oh, would you like to elaborate on that for us?
Oh, well, yeah. It was just really fun. And I'm not even a beer drinker. I really did it for my husband who likes beers. But I love the choices, the tastes, the breads, and really the hiking and the walking and just the explanation, by Amanda made it all very interesting.
I'm so glad you could come. This is our second year doing this, and it's a lovely night just like it was last year. And it's the same pace. It's just a nice group of people doing something that everybody loves to do. And I can't wait till next year. Will you be back?
Exactly. Yeah. We'll be back in 2017 for sure.
Well, we'll look forward to you. Thanks for joining me on camera. This time I'm here not with a participant in Trails and Ales, but with one of the people who made it happen. This is Amanda, and you've already heard two of our participants mention Amanda. She's the one who put this whole program together with the help of the rest of our EE staff, and who baked the breads. And I've heard all sorts of good things about the breads. And I've actually heard about the pairings, although the first person was pairing a different bread with a different beer, but she actually loved all the pairings. How do you go about putting something like this together?
I really think about what I like to eat and just go from there. My favorite types of bread are like the really savory types of quick breads. And when I'm drinking beer, if it's a really sweet beer, I might pair with something a little bit more savory to kind of kick back that sweetness. But it really goes with what you like. And, some of the darker beers we paired with chocolate, just because that's a nice flavor combination. But really, there's a lot of, if I was unsure, there's a lot of Googling and finding out the answers there.
Did the people ask any questions, or what kind of an audience were they, or participants were they?
They were a great audience. They did ask a lot of questions. We did a lot of talking about Spring Valley in general, and then also a lot of different types about the beers, where they're from, who made them, and a lot about the breads as well.
Did you repeat any beds from last year?
Of the breads, two were sort of repeated. I kind of tweaked the recipes. So last year we had a spicy zucchini bread that was a little too spicy, so toned it down, added some other different herbs and spices, but not so much on the heat side of it. But new breads otherwise.
Very good. I'm trying to think what else I could ask you on a beautiful night like tonight. I heard you actually went through the prairie.
Yes.
Did you give them some of our hidden trails?
Yes, we did.
How did they react?
They were good. No one got lost, and we didn't see any spiders, so there wasn't that to worry about. But everyone seemed to like it and have a good time.
That's good, and I've asked both people whether they'd be back next year, and they both said yes. But I wanted to make sure you got on camera so people would know who they're talking about when they talk about Amanda, the cook, and Amanda, the creative person who helped put this program together. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and thanks for everyone that came out tonight.
So here I am at the end of a wonderful evening of Trails and Ales at Spring Valley, a beautiful sunset happening in the west, lovely garden flowers in our children's garden, a campfire behind me with people who are very contented having walked the trails and enjoyed beer and bread pairings. Good evening, and we hope you come next year.